I would rather watch Borderlands for a straight week than watch this movie again. This is Ravens O's Fan 89 with a review from the playground. I would like to thank Darkstarpictures for sending this screener over to me a little bit early to check out. This will be coming out in New York in theaters on August 23rd, and it's supposed to have like a wider release, I believe, in September. I'm not sure if it's going to VOD or if it's has a release in the future, but that's all I got with what was sent to me. So what is this movie about? It is basically about these aliens who land on Earth and they are trying to find a human host to emulate. So the movie starts off with a character that's on Earth named Francesca, which there is this guy that actually goes up to this woman and she's actually pregnant in a car, and he's walking kind of funny and you can tell that he's really off. He's definitely not human, and he obviously is an alien. So these powers, I guess, that he transfers to her makes her an alien. She ends up having her baby and throwing her baby into a pit of fire and killing the baby. And then the next scene actually shows her going to a motel in which she's going to stay there for a week, in which the clerk that actually takes her at this hotel, he actually starts to fall in love with her after a while. And she's doing a lot of strange things. Also, it's a really weird time on Earth because there's a bunch of things going on with like terrorism, and also I guess the pandemic is going on because people are wearing masks in this movie. And so in the first part of the movie, like the first half an hour, it's this woman Francesca who is with this guy talking to him, and she's emulating a lot of stuff that is definitely off like TV, like politics. And I think there's like a nod there for like people that obviously, you know, we watch stuff on TV and we pretty much like repeat what's on TV, or we think everything that we're watching is like a fact. I think that's what the director was trying to go for. The director, by the way, here is Zach Clark, which I've never seen any of his previous works. So with this film, I'll say this, it really wasn't for me. I think it has an interesting concept. It definitely felt more so like a school project. It was interesting in the fact to me of like the aliens actually going from host to host. That was interesting, but there was a lot of weird things that were kind of mixed in. I felt like there's a lot of things that they were trying to shove into this movie, in which I think like the first half where you have Francesca, where she's switching these bodies, obviously she ends up attacking this clerk that apparently falls in love, or he professes his love to her. And so he gets turned into an alien. And then we see her cut to another scene where she's at Home Depot and she's helping this woman. She drives her to this bus place or whatever to catch a bus, and we see that she is attacked and she takes the host of her as well. And then it cuts to another woman, and a couple rather, where they're in a house and they're both aliens as well, and they're just kind of living the daily life. What was interesting to me is with the aliens here, they have bluish and purple eyes as well, and they use contact lenses to actually cover up that light that's showing that they're obviously aliens. It's interesting to me that a lot of stuff they actually emulate and actually repeat, but then like they're really bad at like figuring out like what to eat for food. Like for instance, they'll pour like a bowl of cereal and they'll put macaroni and then cereal, like Fruit Loops for example, on top, which is really strange. There's also a narrator, and the narrator to me was kind of boring. I don't know, his voice to me is the type of voice that would put me to sleep. If you remember being in high school, if you remember like watching like certain maybe like documentaries or certain videos that maybe like your teacher had, and maybe it would just like kind of make you doze off, that kind of dialogue from the narration there, it definitely like threw me off in the movie. I was like, yeah, I don't think we need this, but that's what it was. And so when we get to the second half, when we go through the whole Francesca thing, obviously we have this couple, and there is this other thing going on where apparently they kidnapped the governor of Chicago, in which apparently he did something very sexual, in which they didn't like that. And so they're like a cult that's really going on as well, in which they're trying to get him for his crimes and get him to admit what he did. That thing's going on. And then you have the couple as a whole, like really discovering themselves, because they do this thing in the second half where they're really discovering themselves like through their relationships and how they really love and how when they go to different hosts, like how they really act as they go into these hosts. And there's this one sex scene that is really uncomfortable to me, where they have these starfish holes, and I believe it's in their hips. I'm not sure exactly, but it seems like it was on their hips. And that the way that they have sex is apparently they finger each other with these starfish holes and paint comes out. It was super weird, super awkward to watch. I can't say that I had a good time really watching that because there's a part in there of the dialogue where they say, I really want your orifices. I'm never going to get that out of my head after watching this. I think overall for me with this movie is it's just really all over the place. It's very overstuffed with a lot of themes and narrative that it's trying to pull off. And I think from going from transitioning from different bodies, like from Francesca and then going towards this couple, I understand kind of what they were going for, but to me, it just didn't really add up fully into the story. I felt like there was a lot of elements going on. There was a lot of things that we really, were looking at, from scene to scene. I didn't really think the dialogue at points was all that great. How the movie was shot was okay. Music-wise, it was very trippy. I would say, like, the music here is it's pretty special in places. I can't say that it wasn't bad. It was definitely unique in that aspect. But, like, as far as, like, anything else in this movie, I can't say that I really enjoyed the movie. I was kind of bored, and I just really was kind of checking out after a while. Overall, you guys know that I didn't like this movie. As far as a score, I would give it a 1 out of 5. I think here there's some interesting ideas. I like the whole approach of aliens going from host to host, but I think it's just overstuffed with a lot of other things, with like the terrorism thing and the politics thing. And there's a lot of other messaging that they're trying to throw and shove in here. But I just think overall, I just didn't really care for it all that much. And I think there could have been a little bit more things with the aliens, of if there was a bigger budget, if they could do a lot more with them, maybe walking out on Earth and, maybe getting more interaction with like humans and some other things they could have added in there. But again, I think that's probably a budget constraint. Character-wise, I can't say that I really cared about anybody here, because within that first half, the whole Francesca thing, you get maybe 25 minutes, and then you're spending the last hour or so, because it was 86 minutes, so roughly about an hour with the couple. And then you're switching gears and you're doing like a whole different story with like the whole politics thing and everything like that. And I thought it was very overstuffed. It just didn't work for me overall. I know this has really good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I think I saw 16 reviews and all of them gave a positive review. So it has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. So go figure. There are people that really like this movie, and good for them. If they did like it, if you guys have watched this movie, let me know in the comments. What did you guys think about it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you just think it was kind of meh? And if you haven't checked it out yet, are you going to check it out when it comes to theaters? I believe it is going to be hitting some major cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, I think in September, I believe. Could be wrong there. And then I'm sure it's going to get a VOD release. But if it's something that you're going to check out, definitely let me know. And thank you guys for watching as always. And I will see you guys next time.